Hello again, this is Zephyr. Today we're going to be doing the Landsneckt, and we're going to be trying to go for the Sage Unlock achievement. So some things to note today. I will be talking a lot about kind of the rough edges of Halls of Torment, as well as talking about this class in general. So this is the 10th episode, and I'll probably be ending on the 11th if we can get the Sage out. So I'll do a poll on YouTube to see, if any of you want me to continue with this. But my goal was to kind of talk about each class. I did that. They made a big balance patch change. I restarted my save, and then have been going through each class once again was kind of the goal. So to get, we'll click on here. To get to the Sage, we do need to do the Chambers of Dissonance in Agony mode until the Lord appears. You don't have to be Agony 5, so you can actually die if you want to, but you lose 1 Agony every time you die. The Landsneckt is a rifle woman who has a large amount of base damage, absolutely terrible crit chance, and not really a great way to boost that other than using the Archer's Mark, which we do not have. Sorry. And the grenades are a secondary weapon that are thrown every 3 seconds for free. They previously were thrown after a threshold of damage was reached. So they would litter the screen, just popping around all over the place like little fireworks. I really originally liked that idea, and I wish that they had kind of maintained it. This new system is not affected by attack speed and just builds up the damage of your projectiles elsewise. So I haven't really experienced the actual grenade feeling that much, just like a couple runs with the new system. So since we're going to be doing the Chamber of Dissonance, we do have some issues. There are some enemies that fling things at you. There are enemies that run at you. There are enemies that circle you, and there are projectiles that just go all over the floor, as well as enemies that explode and send out projectiles as well. So the weakness of this class in that area is extremely apparent. The attack speed and the piercing limits are going to make us swarmed constantly, and we will need everything we have to continue forward and actually get the Sage. Maybe even a little bit of luck. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to just get some little bit of health regen, a little extra health. Do 2 and 4 there. Maybe some block strength. We do have 10 defense and 10 block on the character class. So 10% extra is just like 1. But as you take the talents, of course, it scales up. So maybe just 2 points in each of those. Movement speed is going to be super good. Pickup range is also pretty good in this area since it is hard to actually pick stuff up, but we probably should rely more so on the actual pickup objects that give us all the items. Multi-strike is not very useful for this class at this time. We're going to be focused on more of a rifle or projectile build and less on the grenades for this run. So probably don't need as much area projectile size stuff here. And maybe even we could refund this attack range for some attack speed or damage or something. Since that's 6,000 gold there. So do we want attack speed or damage? Gonna say attack speed and damage. Let's see here. And we have 600 gold left over. We'll just put that into burn damage. Flame Strike is really useful on this class early. It's not very useful for actually proccing the grenades. It's just protective. I like protective early pickups. Transfixion would probably be amazing for proccing the grenades. If we get really lucky, we can get an early transfixion pickup. So We don't have any items in the well. We only have 3 potions. I'll talk a little bit out about items and potions today because I have some beefs, some rough edges I'd like to discuss. So we could get some extra movement speed here with the Gatherer's Charm. I don't know if it's actually necessary to use the Gatherer's Charm in the context of movement speed here, but it could be helpful. We could run some base defense, base block with the plated boots, or we could run movement speed. I'm going to try... I think it's risky, but I'm going to try that, and I'm going to try this, and that, and then we'll just do attack speed, because we just don't have a whole lot of options here. We also have no mark. We have no options for that slot. So let's do this. Here we go, Agony mode. So I've already talked about the grenade thing. I do wish that they had done it differently, making it more attack speed, potentially bonused. It was fun to watch them just kind of explode all the time in every direction. I don't know if they're necessarily super strong comparative to the past version. They do seem kind of weak in my very limited experience of the new version. As in, a grenade is not killing enemies very well. We're kind of one-shotting a few of these enemies, but... it's not impressive. So I'm going to go for attack speed because we can just do this. Maybe. Okay, or not. Take some damage here on purpose. Let's do some force. Force will be good. So I'm going to wander to the left here to try to get a very early pickup. We do still need some early levels, though. Early movement speed will help us both with the pickup and the other stuff. I'm going to be focused a little bit less on talking about this character today, and more focused on just, like I said, rough edges and design of this game. I really like this game. This is not a complaint video. This is not don't buy it. It's just a these things rub me the wrong way kind of situation. And some suggestions or thoughts on how they could be improved. So some UI suggestions right off the bat. I've said some of these in previous videos, so bear with me. These icons could be larger or smaller based on how close you are to them. I think that would be a really quick, easy quality of life change. Let's take a little more damage, get up there a little bit. Okay, 22%. Make that amulet work for us. That would help us know the distance a little bit better. I don't know if this is closer or that is closer to me, and so that would help, you know, give that kind of understanding. There's a handful of enemies that are maybe a little bit too fast. You can't run away from them. They move in straight lines. So there's no zigzag that you can do. There's no bob and weave that you can do. It's just, do you have enough damage or do you have enough movement speed? And if you fail either of those checks, you die. Because you're just not going to be able to get rid of the enemy in your face. Because it's contact damage. Ah, nice. Okay, what we got? We got Hailstorm. Not a huge fan of Hailstorm. We got Astronomer's Orbs. Can't talk today. And Phantom Needles. Both of these are projectile. This is physical. We can also change this. Excuse me. That is physical. This is physical. The upgrade to Phantom Needles is magic, but not Phantom Needles itself. Let's see here. I'm going to go with Phantom Needles. I think that's probably the best option. Flame Strike would have been my favorite pickup there, or maybe even Meteor or Lightning Strike, something like that. Anyway. Some of the... Ooh, I'm taking movement speed early. Some of the progression mechanics of this game feel a little off. And they might be off because I'm doing a secondary save file here, and so I'm moving through the game faster than expected, or faster than otherwise intended, or just sideways to how it's intended even. Let's re-roll this. Let's re-roll it again. Okay, let's do that. So I am doing the second run of Agony. I have a handful of items unlocked. I have barely been presented some of the items that exist in the game, and there's a lot of locks and keys, so to say, to the mechanics of this game. So first you have to do a run. Then you have to do a run more or less successfully. Still want that base attack speed over the damage, but we'll see. There it is. Then you need to send it up through the well. So you need to get back to the well. Then on top of that, you then need to spend gold. And I just think it's a lot of layers there for how expensive the items actually are. So this is not saying, like, let's take away the mechanics, but I do think that items probably could have, a lot of the items at least, probably could have their costs cut down by 30 or even 50%. I think items could maybe appear a little bit more often, that kind of stuff. And maybe even have the well have its bucket system changed even, to allow a little bit more going on there. Maybe a permanent bonus by finding a bucket so that you have two pulls of items every run, instead of having to rely on the actual drop of the bucket, which is also technically polluting your item drop pool, I think. I think so. Some RNG issues might exist for randomness on bosses. It could be partially that I'm getting unlucky in the sense of actually getting items from bosses, and I'm just getting, sort of say, lucky on getting scrolls instead in most of my runs. That's very possible. I don't know what determines, other than randomness, what bosses drop. So it could be just a ratio issue. That could be, it could use some pseudo-random effects to normalize that a little bit, so that you don't have one player getting 3 items and the next player getting 20. You could have one player getting, 5 items and the other player getting 16 instead. Well, I'm not talking about absolutely destroying the randomness per se, but just kind of softening the edges there, so that different player experiences are somewhat similar. I don't know if that's the actual issue, so I don't know if that solution actually would help. Moving on from items, sort of, is the bottles. Moving on from equipment items. The bottles are... These are not great options. The bottles are, again, a multi-layered progression system where you have to, again, save an NPC before you can get them. You then don't get anything right away. And so then you have to select the bottles and bring those up just like the equipment. You have to buy them just like the equipment. Their pricing is actually kind of fair, but their commonality is, again, very limited. And I don't know if they pollute the drop pool. Again, so there's a situation of, if I don't rescue the cupbearer, am I better off? I don't know. These guys are really fast, and I don't like them. So these are one of the enemies I've been referring to that are just too fast. They get in your face. You can't get rid of them. They deal damage too quickly. In the sense of a lot of the threat that they present, it's just annoying more so than a threat. Just because they're faster than you. And I'm not even slow. Anyways. Like, I mean, just want to point this out. I have, 42% base, or 40%, 42% bonus, as well as the 0.4 base increase there. So we've got quite a bit of movement speed this character class. Starts slow and actually can be one of the fastest classes. With Forced March, the Forced March trait. So again, kind of just there's this progression curve where the game is expecting you to do a massive amount of grinding for some of the items and progressions, such as the bottles, which in some circumstances might feel great, and in other circumstances feel like it hinders the gameplay immensely if you're pushing through like I am in this series. So just a personal opinion, subjective feel. But if I were, on the design team or giving feedback directly to the devs, and you're welcome to give my feedback to the devs, I'm probably not going to. But I think that a lot of the items could be reduced in cost. The bottles could be a little bit more common. The herbs could maybe be a little bit easier or something to kind of gather in some fashion. I know that there's the compass and all that, but it just feels like there's just a lot going on, a lot to collect, a lot of things to do that don't always benefit you right away. So one of the things that they've done is I'm pretty sure that the herbs are actually scattered between different areas for the potions. So you might have to go to 2 or even 3 different zones to get one bottle. To unlock one bottle. And then you still have to actually send the bottle up to use it. So there's just a lot of limitations there. I would argue that there might need to be a little bit more freebie on some of that, just to get you going. I'm not saying unlock all 6 or 3 potions at once, but just to get the player introduced to the mechanic. It's tedious to introduce the mechanic, and then it's actually kind of easy to scale it back up after the fact, as it is currently in the game. So just kind of my thoughts on that. There's some UI elements that need to probably be fixed and some tooltip stuff. So one thing is none of these are actually a good example, but you can right click, and they do have now an icon on the left side that will show that there are alternate traits, but you can right click a lot of abilities to see the alternate traits, but there's no feedback that you right clicked. There's no sound effect saying, hey, there's nothing here. There's no flash to show that you clicked. So I think there needs to be some feedback on click for the right click, for the alt click to see the stuff. So if I click on this right here, it shimmers, it makes a sound. We should probably have something similar when you're going into the alternate selection grid to see what is available, what other options are available. Our attack rate is significantly better every time we get one of these arquebus upgrades. There's a lot of bosses right here. If we could just kill them, that'd be great. The cupbearer, the UI, it's weird. It's got a scroll bar, but there's nothing to scroll, so it just scrolls like 10 or 20 pixels or something, and then it just makes all of the potions unaligned. And it's one of those things where the menu itself could either be shrunk by just like 5%. This is a very small nitpick, but it's weird that there's a scroll bar there when there's nothing to actually scroll. The scroll bar is present, it seems, just because the area is too big. Or too small. The inside area is too big and the outside area is too small. Something to that extent. So what other UI elements I wanted to talk about? Oh, tooltips. Tooltips are pretty bad. I'm expecting a lot of those to get fixed in probably the next major update. They're going to wait 2 months before the next update or so, at which point we're going to see some of the new stuff, which will be cool. Let's see if I can get to this box. That's not a box. Let's get some range going. Long finger gloves. I really didn't want growth long finger gloves, but thank you, I guess. I'm gonna take this. We're starting to get to the point where we actually do damage. That's nice. Hey, there's another one. And you can hear it kind of catching up with itself. It's just getting faster and faster and faster as we get that. We can get the growth gloves for attack speed instead of the garbage that we just found. I don't know why I pulled that, but helps this. It doesn't help my gun. Wow. I don't like any of this. I'll take arcane splinters, I guess. They're projectiles, so it's something. Some force. Yeah, there's flame strike. That's what I wanted. Hey, a bottle. Nice. Oh yeah, some UI and tooltip stuff. So yeah, the general stuff, some of it's misaligned in the sense of what it's saying and what things do, and that's due to a lot of the balance and mechanics changes. I'm expecting them to fix that very quickly. They're busy at work. I won't call devs lazy. Game dev is hard. I know some people would say, oh, this is lazy or that is lazy. Don't ever call a game dev lazy. They're putting in everything they got, probably. Well, especially indie game devs. They're going to be putting in everything they got. They might be risking their livelihood, some of them. Maybe not. I don't know about this team. I have no idea about this team. I'm just saying, you know, indie devs in general often are doing everything they can to build their game. But let's see here. Covered alternate click. I covered some tooltip stuff. Did I cover breakable objects? These breakable objects, they are hit-based to prevent you from just instantly destroying them at all times in the game. But I would love to see stuff like this character class. Let's just walk through some enemies here and take some damage. I just want to get to like 20% here. There we go. 25 is good too. 30%. There we go. What was I saying? Oh, breakable objects. I think they could be prorated for different classes and different weapons. So if, for example, this class is really slow attacking, at least at the beginning, so it'd be nice to have these breakable objects. So normally they're 2 hits, and it doesn't matter what you hit them with. It would be nice to have them be a little bit more prorated for some of the slower attackers, just to be able to get stuff out of them. So maybe this class and the Beast Huntress and some other classes that are a little bit slower and heavy hitters could have the breakable objects break, you know, 1 hit or even 1.5. You know, 50% of the time they break in 1 hit, and sometimes they don't. Something like that. It would just be nice. It would just be a nice little feature to just kind of shore up some stuff. I don't know where this is going. The laser. Let's see where it's going here. doing better than I expected to do, but we also pulled a bunch of early stuff there. I think this Scars of Toil is actually doing pretty good work, too. I have also been taking a lot of the defensive stats. Ooh, Agony 3. So that gives us our mark. You get an extra grenade every 3 seconds with the mark. And you can use the grenade on other classes, of course, too. Don't know where that laser went to. Wasn't paying enough attention. So I have no idea where these scrolls are right here. Should I go take them? Because they're too small. Or they're not telling me distance at all. Ooh. I don't think I wanted to take that. Okay, let me get me out of there now. That'd be nice. Okay. I'm going really heavy defensive here, and I think it's actually helping. So I think I covered everything I wanted to cover in regards to progression and rough edges within the game. There's just some different things. I think all of these would make the game better. This is not to say the game is bad. It's still early access. It's only $5. So I've definitely gotten the enjoyment out of it for $5. Way more than $5 worth of enjoyment. It's actually one of my more favorite games recently in general. Now I've played the heck out of it, so it's not entirely the only thing I want to play now, but getting 100 hours or something out of a game like this is just, you know, it's plenty. It's plenty. Too many enemies. These little spiders are annoying. Oh my goodness gracious. These little spiders are annoying because every time you kill them, they explode. The cubes explode. Some of the enemies also do other stuff. Yeah, that defense is definitely helping. I'm just taking a lot of damage that I shouldn't be taking, but the defense helps with that. There's just a lot going on in this level, and it just sometimes feels excessive, and I know that other people have said the same on like the Steam forums and some other places. And, you know, that's a matter of preference as well, but just the other levels aren't this extreme with a lot of the stuff that they're doing. I don't know if I wanted to turn that. Wasn't paying attention. Let's see. Where does this go? It goes into a wall. Definitely not where I wanted it to go. Probably a potion pickup or a single item over there. We are getting a lot of damage out of Scars of Toil. I think some people might be underrating it. Even on low health characters, you can get quite a bit of value out of it as long as you don't make a mistake with your positioning and health and stuff. There we go. We are totally going to get hit by that. Okay. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. Whew. Let's get more defense, just in case. Do I want more fire or want more needles? It's a good question. I'm going to go with Meteor Strike. Deal damage with items. Oh, because I have the ring on. Okay, so we are going to drop this, put that down, and put this on. It's not going to be really good, but I don't know if it's better to wear the Echoing Band or better to wear the Iron Ring right now. We just have to survive. I don't know if we will, but we just have to survive. We're just going to keep going with billion abilities here. We're just not going to rely on any single ability. Ooh. So growth caps out at level 100, whereas in this boost just caps us out right now. I think I'm going to take this. What's the difference here? Yeah, that's... I think the defense is actually the biggest difference there because we have quite a bit of bonuses to our health already. And the base defense there is huge. Oh boy, get me out of this mob. I've lost track of where the laser is. Somewhere nearby. Oh, jeez. Oh, we're going to take some damage here. That is a lot of enemies all grouped up. Area radius or cone size. What attack speed? Sorry, I'm just a little bit out of it right now. Let's see here. We've got a couple bottles here. Let's test something out. Can I send up 2 bottles at once? I can. So there is some UI glitchiness to that, but it does look like the bottles do not consume your bucket. We don't have anything to actually consume our bucket right now. So there's a little gray star asterisk looking thing that actually disappears when you use the potion on the bucket, which makes it look like you cannot use the bucket again, but you can. Now, I don't know if it's only for bottles, so like you use one bucket for a bottle, you have to use the next bucket for the bottle. I have no idea. But that's another example of the tooltips are not very clean in some circumstances, and once they're cleaned up, it'll just be a world of difference for some of the mechanics and understanding of things that probably should be a little bit more obvious. We found the laser. And a lot of purple lines. We want to touch that, but we can't. I didn't bring my roller skates, but maybe I should have. A lot of rolling going on. More attack speed. Actually, let's get more health in here, too. Flame Strike Mighty. So much experience we've been just leaving on the floor. It's hard. There's so many enemies on the ground, too. They're just everywhere. So many enemies following me right now. I think I'm going to take this off and put this back on. I don't think 15 damage is actually going to be the difference here. Echoing Band did do 1,000,000 damage earlier. So, probably worth putting back on. Also affects anything else that's physical, which is the Phantom Needles, so, and the Ring Blades. Okay, Flame Strike. Okay, we gotta touch this a few times. There we go. See if we can wrap around on this. Please, please, please. It's gonna go down to this one. Pretty sure it just, like, weakens the boss. Whew, this is getting intense. Look how much movement speed I have. This is insane. And only because of that movement speed am I alive, probably. Can I get to it without getting sideswiped? Kind of. I can kind of get to it. Ooh, something's touching me. I don't know what's going on. I was just like standing on top of something. Something that's actually really nice about Scars of Toil is, yeah, you can just take damage intentionally to gain bonus damage, but you can also kind of gain a value in dangerous moments where you gain damage you weren't previously gaining. Especially early game when you have very few bonuses. Early runs. The beginning of runs? All of those are true, but I probably meant more in the sense of early runs. And hey, damage is damage, right? Got 2 fire things, so maybe we go for burn damage here. I am still trying to turn this laser. If I can get to it again. It's like right there. There we go. I turned it. I think these arcane splinters are actually doing pretty good. The grenades, they're catching up with the grenades. The Echoing Band is now at 3 million, so definitely was smart to put that back on. Some things are definitely really mathematical, but you can test them somewhat easier. And that one's going to be a hard one to mathematically figure out, but... pretty sure it's better than 15 damage. We want to turn this one north-ish. If I can even remotely move south-ish to get back to it. Ooh, we got a buff. Not the best buff, not the best position to be standing in. So much going on. My attack speed is actually really, really funny right now. 1.6 on this. It seems like the gun actually has its sound effect turned off after so many hits. Because I only hear it so often. Has the laser always been exactly 2 turns? I want to say it might be. 5 million damage with items. Let's get some more health. We're getting low. Got a crisscross pattern here. I don't have a whole lot more to say in regards to this game right now. I think I covered just so much right at the beginning and middle already here. There's a crisscross pattern here, but where does it go? It needs to not go this way. It needs to go up. Or something. Or straight. I think it's straight. But I can't get to it. There's just too much right there. And I don't feel safe in my health pool right now. We're running out of time. Oh. Sure, crit bonus sounds good, I guess. Not a whole lot of good big choices there. We've taken all the good big choices. Okay. We might be able to touch it. And there we go. We touched it. And let's get this. Burning craters. Get some more burn damage going. They can deal with all the ground effects. Stupid AI. They won't know to step off of the fire, generally. Hey, it zaps things. That's neat. Get off me, go away. Things running too fast and getting in my face. Let's see here. We got 1 minute. If we can just get... Let's see. Oh. Let's see what this says.
One particular contraption garnered the attention of the power-thirsty. The Dissonator Monolith. A monument of destruction, powered by a maze of concentrated light rays.
Okay. That was... words. There were words there. Basically, it zaps stuff. Cool. Let's see how useful it is against the Lord. Can we beat the Lord in Agony 5? Who knows? We'll find out, though. Maybe. We'll find out in 30 seconds if we can survive 30 seconds. Can we survive 30 seconds? Then we'll find out. So some builds I do really like range on the needles, and other builds I really like it not having the range. If you're up close or if you're threatened up close, the range on the needles can be helpful to just take out specific enemies because you can't really do a whole lot of manipulation of targeting. There we go. We got the Lord to appear, which means we unlocked the Sage. Ooh, hey. Let's not spawn those in front of me or on top of me. Thank you. Ow. Well, this is going to take a while. We don't have a whole lot of crit chance, but we got a bunch of abilities that can use it, so that might be good. So, the Lord has an absolute crazy amount of health. This is going to take a while. We only hit level 65. There is a glove to our left. That might be useful to pick up. I don't know. Let's go get the glove. We have anything actually sendable? No. We can't test that theory. Any further, at least. There we go. We'll just do that. See how many levels we can get out of this. Well, 4 levels ain't bad at all. I guess we'll keep fighting the boss over here. Why not? Seems like a good idea. Woof. We still have 1 life, so if we do die to the boss, we have a second chance. Not sure how necessary or useful it'll be, but... So I will argue that this boss has way too much health. I did the secret quest with the lightning obelisk thing, and I got to this point, but... This isn't exactly a huge challenge from this point on. It's just more or less standing still and moving around at different moments here. I probably can out-regen most of the damage that the boss deals as long as I'm careful. This is where I need some sound effects or music for the channel. Just change things up a bit. I don't know. Nah, that's not what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, he's actually standing on me there a little bit. But he did actually get me lower. But what he doesn't know is that made me stronger. Marginally stronger, at least. Because of the slight amount of damage that I get from the amulet here. Oh, jeez. Just die already. Seriously, just die already. The music's even resetting. I don't even know if we would have been significantly stronger had we gotten more levels or not. We had most of the things that we wanted on this character, like the upgrades to the gun. Do. Okay, I'm going to fill the silence with some random statements. Went to the DMV recently in my state, and usually you'd expect like the worst experience ever. Slow, long lines, right? That's the stereotype. And I was able to basically go in and out in like 5 minutes. Yeah, it was pretty nice. Not what I would expect. I've only had to deal with that physical location like twice, so both experiences have been like super quick, in and out, no problems. Again, totally against the stereotype. Maybe they stepped it up because of the stereotype at some point. I don't know. We are almost there. We are almost there. Come on, he doesn't even have a health bar anymore. Just die already. There's no health bar. Just be dead. There we go, finally. Ah, that was a long boss. How long did that take? Like 10 minutes? That boss took longer than the DMV. We beat Agony 5. Barely. There was some pretty intense stuff there. We got, let's see here, what do we get? We got Flame Strike upgrade. We got the Sage, which is what we were going for. We got Scattered Sparks. We got the Blessing of Physical Damage, which is going to be super helpful for certain builds. Arcane Splinters trait. Piercing Wind 3. Gold. Mark of the Grenadier, that's our first mark. Morningstar, that's a pretty fun ability. It's a little weird, but it's pretty fun. And look at the DPS on this ring. This ring did some of our best DPS, and we took it off for a short period of time there and put it back on. So, pretty good stuff there, and even DPS-wise, I think, burn damage. Oh, that's just any damage, I think. Is it? Oh yeah, it's burn damage. Okay. Maximum DPS there. There we go, and that's the Sage. So we'll do Sage for episode 11. The Sage is quite fun. Slow build up, slow movement speed, has basically no stats at all. And so we'll do that next time. We did get, let's select our character here. We did get 11,000 gold, not quite 12,000. We can buy some of this stuff. So look at how expensive this wine bottle is, 600. But a lot of like the early rings and helmets and stuff, there's like 6 or even 7,000 gold. I think that they could be easily 4,000 gold and be totally fair. You're sacrificing, experimentally sacrificing gold a lot of times for some of your equipment. So I am actually going to buy both of those. We can't use it though, because we have this other lock and key mechanic here that we still have not completed. And we will eventually complete that, but maybe not even in this series, because I did what I could to run through it, but it didn't really matter. So, and I'd have to look up which of these locations. I think this is like the second location, and that might be the first location. So it's probably the first and second location we haven't done searches for the flowers and herbs. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like my ramblings, and hope this made your day a little bit better. Maybe you just like hearing me drone on. I don't know. Until next time, take care.